Singing from my heart, boy, I really love you. It's Abidalas representing for Mark and Lisa. Everything up!
I am certain this is Anthem Greatness live and in person. Championing unity through music, as is my divine duty. I am certain this is Anthem Greatness live and in person. Championing unity through music, as is my divine duty. And when I'm in deep thought, I tune in to Mark Blaze, the genius behind the music, the virtuoso. And Mark Blaze, at the top. At the top.
I swear. The voice of Anthem Greatness. Now, I think the artist is live right now. Anthem.
Yeah, actually, I just have to turn on the other device because I wanted my TikTok is really the community that has bringing my music and the awareness of my brand to most places in the world. So I wanted them to be live when I'm getting such a prestige opportunity that you offered me, Mr. Blaze.
Thank you. So, Anthem, I mean, I wanted to do me the honors of introducing yourself to this wide audience, because I fell in love with your delivery on social media, and I bring it in on a Saturday, which is not normal for me to do it. And I wanted to go ahead and use the time to explore the audience and tell them who you are.
All right, Mark, Honorable Lord. First of all, I must thank you for having me on your platform. We rise by lifting each other, and by virtue of such fact, I am honored to be given this opportunity to speak to you, such a honorable man, and your honorable listeners, to present my ideas and philosophy, which I hope in the sight of the Most High is acceptable and inspiring and informative and empowering to your people. So Anthem Greatness is my moniker, my artist moniker. I also go by Baba Loki, which is the sage, and because I consider myself an orator, sage, and artist. So my artist name is Anthem Greatness. That is the name I use on all digital platforms that concerns music. Anthem Greatness. I also go as an artist by Melchizedek Freeman, which I came up with the concept of one voice, two artists, meaning I wanted an outlet that is pure or more substantial, or let's say virtuous, and I chose Melchizedek Freeman, and I kept Anthem Greatness as a hardcore, raw expression. So if you want to listen to my music, but not the darker stuff, you could choose Melchizedek Freeman. Baba Loki is the sage, and would you say, don't see yourself wise in your own eyes? But sage is a word that I think is, not just saying wise, but saying, there is some information that could benefit you in this person.
Right.
So I consider myself a sage and orator. I'm a speaker and a sage. So that's Baba Loki. Now, my given name is Randy Archibald Newville. I was born in St. Thomas, Jamaica, and I grew up in St. Thomas and Portland. I'm an avid reader. Growing up, I did not have a television or video games. I grew up very poor. My mother is still the ward mate at the hospital, meaning she cleaned the floor and bring the food to the patient. My father used to cut cane when cane was an industry in St. Thomas. So I came from a very humble beginning, and so I didn't have much for entertainment. So I started reading at a young age. And when I discovered the Harry Potter series, that is what opened my mind to the power of the imagination. I started reading the Harry Potter series very young by J.K. Rowling. And when I read the Sorcerer's Stone, I read all of them straight up to the Deathly Hallows. And that inspired me to become a reader. And by virtue of the fact that my father had a radio and I was listening to the sounds of reggae, mainly Sizzla Kalonji, Fantan Moja, Richie Spice, and those artists who were more prominent in the early 2000s. I started putting music and literature together, and this evolved and culminated or coalesced into what you now know as Anthem Greatness, Honorable Mark Blaze.
Nice, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. I told you, I have a knack for finding artists. And here is a new artist on the platform. It goes by the name of Anthem Greatness. So, Anthem, listen, I'm not going to waste time by trying to feel it out. I'm going to right to the questions. Right to the questions because I want the audience to hear who you are and what I think you're going to be later on. So the first question for you
Honorable.
is this, right?
Yes, Lord.
You started off, and it's very deep your history of how you got involved with reading and so forth. Very, 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 very good. So I want to know what is the ultimate goal of your music career, both in Jamaica and on the international stage. What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, of course, world unity, world peace. It's the most noble cause. Like my thing is called One Nation. I have a music group with some artists we're gonna be mentoring, given that the most I will render as a successful, and it's called One Nation Music Group. So what we mean is we want to dissolve the borders and make the earth a free place for all human beings to enjoy the resources of the world. All the technology and knowledge we now have should be benefiting all of us. It shouldn't be a racial fight where some is saying it's African freedom or a country fight where some is saying America against Russia. It should be just unity among man, brotherhood of man.
Right.
So you said ultimate goal, so the ultimate, I think you said the greatest intention behind the music. And that is for me, if my legacy or if my voice could inspire one nation under God and the planet where all of us could sit, all other states could sit and say, hey, let's get this together. Let's do the right thing. Then what and make one nation where we solve hunger, we solve homelessness, then it's the greatest cause, my brother, that will be working for the most high in every sense of the word. Because that's how we started it, with all of us being one before there were borders.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful.
I
Powerful.
give
Powerful.
thanks, Marvelous. Start it up.
Listen,
Yes,
listen,
Marvelous.
listen. As I said before, there's something I feel when I talk to you, man. So, what challenge do you see you face as a Jamaican artist trying to gain global traction?
Well, the number one challenge that Jamaican artists face, not just me, all Jamaican artists, because I find, well, I wouldn't say all, because that probably wouldn't be the case for Jonah Gang,
Right.
because Jonah Gang was born in a different situation. But Jamaican artists has issues with resources. There is very little platform for artists with talent and artists with a vision, artists with purpose. There's very little platform for them to, be mentored and to, be given an opportunity to showcase their talent.
Right.
Yes, there are certain shows like Rising Stars and like Magnum King and Queens, but I don't think a show that starts with how much, probably 12, 14 contestants is enough for an island nation of 3 million people. And I don't think the government, particularly the Minister of Youth and Culture, Ministry of Youth and Culture, has done enough for a country that birthed a genre like reggae and
Right.
dancehall, a country that inspired the world through Bob Marley and so many other artists, Peter Tosh, Garnet Silk, a country that is like the gem of its region, the Caribbean. I don't think the government itself has created enough platforms where you can be educated in the field of music, like at a Edna Manley, at an affordable cost. I can't even say free because maybe they will never free education in black countries. But what I'm saying is the biggest challenge, I
Right.
would say, to answer your question accurately, for me as a Jamaican to bring my music to the world and even just to my nation is resources. Not just financial resources for promotion, but resources in the form of a know-how, like the
Right.
knowledge of doing it.
Right. Right.
Mentorship from those in the industry. It's a kind of uncommon. We don't have a united front as reggae, as dancehall. It's a more competitive scene where it's a cabin barrel mentality. So the challenge is just getting the resources necessary to make the dream a reality. That is the main challenge of any Jamaicans doing music.
Nice, nice. Very, very good.
Yes,
Now,
indeed.
now, with so much to manage, you have the emotional, psychological, and social order to maintain your integrity. What do you do to maintain mental clarity and emotional balance in such a competitive industry?
Oh, that's a very good question. A very good question. Excellent question. And in fact, I'd say that so far every question you've asked is very relevant. So I would ask you before answering that, is this being recorded? Because I'd love to look back at this. Or will there be a way for we to re-experience this? Or it's just live?
I don't know. It will be recorded by one of my affiliate stations.
All right, perfect, great Lord. So in terms of balancing the emotional, psychological, and social aspect of life in order to maintain mental clarity, what I do mainly is I try to live a full life.
Right.
So, for instance, yes, I'm not one-sided,
Right.
meaning that, yeah, like man exists in mind, body, and spirit. So I call upon the Most High spiritually. I have a foundation. So my foundation is the Most High, because the Most High has been our habitation for many generations. And if you don't have a source greater than yourself in concept spiritually, when an overwhelming challenge come in your life, you will break or you will fall.
Right.
Foundation means you know something is greater than you govern in the process, a source, a force that is
Right.
benevolent to man.
Right.
Now, spiritually, I'm connected to the Most High, which I perceive through Rastafari, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie the First, and Her Imperial Majesty Empress Menen Asfar the First of her name. Now, that is our view as Jamaicans, that Rastafari in our time is the modern Messiah. So I have a spiritual ideology. That's one. Mentally or socially, I have good, humble support. I have a support system. So, like
Right.
for instance, my manager, David Super Big Newell, my mother, whose loyalty is so undying, my father, I have brothers like Tantan, who was one of the first person to say, yo, you're tough on cartel. I have a network of support where I can come to for an honest opinion, honest feedback, and some motivation socially. Um, Also, I seek inspiration mentally. So I will probably go look at something Jay-Z said, or look at something Nas said, because I love hip hop as well. Hip, intelligent hop movement, moving intelligently. I love hip hop. It's next to reggae in its nature.
Correct.
I will listen to something that a writer say, maybe Mark Twain, maybe who else, Les Brown, or maybe I listen to something that Bob Marley or Marcus Garvey said. So I continuously seek inspiration as well, mentally. And you said psychologically, and I find that to keep the mind balanced, you need adequate rest, eating on time. So, like physically, I have a system. I wake up at this time, shower, clean up the room. I do things ritualistically. As I wake up, I don't just grab up the phone. When I wake up, I give thanks to the Most High that I was privileged. So it's a series of things. I hope I'm not speaking too long, Honorable Lord.
No,
Did I
man,
answer the
no,
question
man.
effectively?
Talk.
All right, thank you, Father. It's a series of things, to maintain the mental clarity.
Nice. I love that. Now, give me 1 second.
I am is certain this is Anthem Greatness live and in person. Championing unity through music, as is my divine duty. And when I'm in deep thought, I tune in to Mark Blaze, the genius behind the music, the virtuoso. And Mark Blaze, at the top.
Thank you.
Wow.
No, Anthem, I have a very important
Yes.
question to ask you. Because I see a lot of things going on in Jamaica, right? And we can contribute the ramifications to music, social, political. So what I want to ask you is, what responsibility, if any, do you feel artists have in addressing crime, inequality, or corruption in their lyrics?
What duty does artists have in addressing these issues?
Yes, crime, inequality, or corruption. Whenever an artist goes to the studio and pays his money to produce a song only to disrespect ladies, disrespect appearance, like how do you measure and how do you measure the responsibility that each artist brings to the table?
All right, you see that question. That question I asked, great Lord Mark Blaze, is I keep saying that you ask the right questions, and you see if we are asking the right questions, we are heading in the right direction. We are climbing a ladder that's leaning on the right wall. Because you see, when Sizzla Kalonji rose to prominence, crime rate dropped. This is researchable. This you can look this up. When Sizzla Kalonji gained prominence, crime it reflected in the crime rate of the country.
Right.
So it means then that artists, because being an artist, and I'm going to share a gem with you. This is purely theoretical. I have no evidence of this, but I believe strongly, I am confident that most great artists are not human beings. They are archangels in the form of a human sent to help us or guide us. When I look back at artists like Michael Jackson and his humanitarian work, Bob Marley and his humanitarian work, even Tupac, even Whitney Houston, all of these artists shifted the culture in such a way so positively. They could not have just been a mere man in their impact. Right. So that is just my opinion, that a lot of artists are archangels. So I am saying to you, the social responsibility of not just artists, but anyone of power, because I want to push it past artists, though I'm going to speak on the artist's responsibility.
Right.
Anyone of power and anyone of influence, it is their duty to do what is right and not what is easy. Right. It is their duty to ensure they play the role in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Now, influence, to be able to influence a generation or to speak to a generation and show them a perspective that is every artist's responsibility. It's just that we as man has gone to the path of least resistance, where we have chosen entertainment over inspiration and information. And we don't choose either. The media itself pushes a narrative that is usually not helping us. You know, so it's the artist's duty to, it's particularly reggae artists, and I realize that reggae artists don't get much support in their home country of Jamaica either. But if you look at the artists like Manine, who is very vocal about woman empowerment, Protege, very vocal about government corruption. If you look at Sizzla, very vocal about sexual immorality, and the youth is always concerned with the youth. I'm a part of Sizzla's Youth Foundation, by the way.
Nice.
If you look at these artists, they have inspired their listeners to be of a certain energy. So if you're an artist, don't come with a lot of rhymes and a good voice with nothing in your head. If you're an artist, ensure you spend some time to look at your society, study things that may benefit your listeners. Because the song is just words and melodies, rhymes with melody, poetry with melody. So use the words you put in this song. Put something for the universe in the music verse. You get what I say?
Yes, man.
But I don't want to take too much time on that one question. I may have others. So I hope I sufficiently addressed that question.
You did. And if you just join us, we have live Anthem, the greatness. I could hear from his delivery. He's great. Trust and believe me. Now, what separates you from trending artists right now? Like, what makes you different from, say, a Vibes Cartel or Assassin or who? Like, what separates you from these trending artists?
Well, I was always different, not just from Vibes Cartel or other artists, but like everyone I knew. I only know one version of myself. I don't know any other nigga like me. I hope nigga is not too much of a profane word, given that these first world countries are very sensitive. But I don't know any other negos like me, any other king like me. I don't know a next version of myself. So I've been different from the very start. But what separates me as an artist from these other artists, I would say, when I listen to their music, and you said trending, so let's keep that in mind, because my music may be similar to maybe a Kabaka. If you look at the country music I've done, my dance music may be similar to a Massacre in terms of being raw but inspiring. So there are artists that you could align my music with in certain regard. However, Anthem Greatness, the artist, is very inspiring in words, is very insightful in thought, very philosophical in mind. Like if thought was a rocket ship, philosophy would be the fuel. So if what you think is going to get you to the highest height, how you think would be the fuel of that thing. So I am saying Anthem Greatness is very different in how he assembles his music in terms of what is written. And I don't think this is just Anthem Greatness. I think the most I have been using I as a channel for the longest time. I heard Chronic say that, Michael Jackson said that. So I think I am connected to a higher power, which is the Most High, and I have a mission in this lifetime to really help humanity the best way the Most High can do that through I and I. So my music is different because it is coming from a place of benevolence. So even if I sing something degrading to the woman, I will sing something else to say, hey, please forgive me here, Queen. I did that because I was, just animalistic in nature at the time. And now that I'm higher, I've seen my mistake. As going forward now, I don't really want to do no more dirty music. I tell you, say, talk to me, I want me to be a clean music, and I really want to give into it, but I have to discuss that with the IT team.
Listen to me, Anthem, man. I wish I had more time to carry on this exciting conversation, man. But I want to ask you one more question before I head off. Is that if your voice reached 100 million people right now, what would you say in your next track?
If my voice could reach 100 million people, what would I say in my next track?
Yeah.
So 100 million people is about 1.25% of what they say is the global population, given that it's about 8.
Right.
So that's one in every 100 person I would be able to talk to. And if I could speak to one in every 100 person in the world, that is enough for us to change the world, because every country have much more than 100 persons. I could speak to every country. So what I'd say is in the infamous, not what I mean is not famous enough, not famous for something wrong, but the not famous enough lines of Kabaka Pyramid. Let us break those borders down. Just let's get it together. The whole is greater than some of its parts. So let's all unite. The song would have to be about unity and harmony and seeing that all of us are in this together. Seeing beyond His Imperial Majesty said we have to be members of a new race. Seeing beyond petty prejudice and not our allegiance to nations, but to the entire human community. So the message would have to be unity, harmony, brotherhood, peace, love, and to basically move forward, honor each man as, you'd honor yourself.
Nice.
So the message of the infinitely famous Yahshua, love others as you love yourself. Be a brother's keeper, and with the wisdom of Selassie, and with the peace of the Buddhist, with the intelligence of the Muslim, any form of those movement that represents truth, righteousness, justice, that is a message. Let's get it together. The song, I don't think any song could convey all of that still. That will be a whole long song, but you know what I'm saying. Not it up. I want, on behalf of my fans, and I want to big up Nivek. Big up Nivek, anyway, Nivek, they big up Nivek. And on behalf of my supporters and fans, thank you, Mark Blaze, my team, David Newell, my manager, my videographers, creative partner, road managers, Joe, JD, I'm forgetting Bibo, coach, and the Queen, Casey, my brother, one of my artists, my music group, Chingers. On behalf of the whole movement, thank you, Mark Blaze.
And this has to be they have to be a part 2, man, because there's so many questions to ask you. And I even yo, man, thanks for passing through, man. And before you go, give the audience your handles so they can reach you if they want to talk to or support your movements.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the handles, social media handles, you can find me on Instagram at Anthem Greatness. So the username is at Anthem Greatness, right? And that is the same username at Anthem Greatness for TikTok. I'm active on TikTok and Instagram. And Twitter is the same username on Twitter at Anthem Greatness. I do have a Facebook page that I hardly use. The username is at Jamaican Tupac. At Jamaican Tupac. And you'll find that page. My manager's phone number is 876-553-4518. That's 876-553-4518. or you could just send an email to Elite Jamaicans, just as those words are spelled.
Right.
Elite Jamaicans with a S at gmail.com. So it's Anthem Greatness, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all other musical platform, Anthem Greatness. And if you want to find me on Facebook, it's at Jamaican Topop. My manager's number is 876-553-4518. And you could send an email to our team at elitejamaicans@gmail.com. Great Lord.
Thank you so much for passing through, man. And we'll talk soon.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the night. And to your listeners, keep it positive, keep the vibration positive. Love and love alone.
Peace.
I could tell you keep it secrets from me. Why you always keep it secrets from me? I know that you got some secrets. Don't know how long you could keep it.
Every Wednesday from 7 p.m. until Secrets. Join Lady Rose and Success Radio for Secrets. We all have them. It's time to share your secrets. Remember, every Wednesday from 7 p.m. until on Success Radio. Secrets.
You're hooked on the eerie vibes of Blue FM.
A station with purpose.
Energy Radio 1.
Yes, Rasta, I tell you.
24/7 we no sleep at all.
What him gonna do you now?
Some boy are going like they want to fight against Energy Radio 1.
What? Fire for the. You are listening to Fun City Radio. Fun City Radio and FunCityRadio.com.